Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back for some more F1 24 gameplay. We are back for LDR round, the final two races of the season, as we are here for the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So, welcome back to another video of LDR, and thankfully we've all caught up, but fortunately F1 24 is, well, thankfully, F1 24 is coming to an end, so we are finally finishing up league racing content. And it will be this race. The last race will be at Baku, and then that will be the last league race that will be on F1 24. So the last two races, we're going to have some fun, and we're kind of out of the championship hunt at the moment. I mean, we are sitting P5 within the championship. We are behind Reimer, our old teammate, by I think at least 12 points. So we're behind by quite a few. Obviously, we've had a couple moments this season. We really had a really good start, I say, to Mexico, but then after Mexico, we've had DNFs, bad lucks, crashes. We've just kind of really haven't been the best, I feel like. So obviously this weekend we want to give it our all. Las Vegas has always been a track where I've always felt pretty good at, so I think tonight will be a good advantage to kind of get something going. And I mean, we did score a podium last race, so maybe we can carry that momentum going into the next race. So obviously we want to carry a good result and a good finish for Ferrari. I don't know where we stand within the constructors. I think we're a little bit shafted, but I do know that Clint is not here tonight, so actually the reserve is actually Emerson, who really didn't even have a chance to race because he kept on having internet issues. So first lap we went P3. It really wasn't that bad of a lap, honestly. I could definitely find a little bit more time, but it definitely did feel pretty good. So if we can carry the momentum into the next run, that'll be pretty good. So we're gonna dump all three of our runs here. I'm not really gonna just do two runs like I did in Brazil. I kind of want to carry 3 runs in. So Zox so far on pole. His lap time I believe was a flat. I think Nerf is the same thing. So like Nerf and Zox are like 6/10 ahead of us. So I mean, like, those two guys, they're on steroids. Nerf is on steroids. Zox is on steroids. Even with the line off, he's very quick. So staying with him in the race though will definitely be possible, but the qualifying pace, it's just never there for me. So we were up by 3/10. We lost a lot of time, I believe, within the middle sector, and actually lost quite a bit of time. So now approaching the last corner, we found 2/10, and we found a little bit more time. And yeah, we had a slight mistake going into the last run, and unfortunately, we come across the line now, and it's going to be a 1:31.2. So we found some improvement, and that is most likely going to be it. So the third run, we just had a massive snap of oversteer and lost like 4/10, so it was kind of over from there. But thankfully, no one really improved their times behind, right ahead of Reimer by a couple 1,000ths of a second, and you can see the gap is 7/10 to Nerf and Zox. So Zox is 3/10 ahead, Nerf is 4/10 ahead of me. So yeah, I mean, I think a 130 would have definitely been a stretch for me. I feel like a 131 flat. Around the 131 flats would be probably the best I have. So yeah, but anyways, we had a lobby restart due to some issues, so we got the new setup. And good news is we all now have a fresh set of tires. So we have softs, we have mediums, we have it all. So we're gonna start on the mediums and go to the hards. And yeah, so CMS is taking an engine pen, same as a manual, and I believe someone else behind. And for the 5 red lights here, we actually have a glitch. The lights actually aren't even popping up on my screen. Lights out and away we go. And we actually got a terrible start, and I didn't realize that the lights were, I had to kind of look up there, and I didn't really check my revs on my steering wheel, so I was like, oh no, I cucked my start a little bit. You can see we've lost already like 2, 3, 4 positions at the start, so not really ideal. But Peanut and Xylee move ahead. Nerdnick, Metal God behind. CMS already up to P9 at the start of the race as well. And there goes Peanut, and Peanut hit the back of Xylee and actually hit me while I'm at it, and he gave us wing damage, and we are going to have to pit. And just on top of that, we get 10 seconds for a severe collision with Metal God. So that's a glitch, and that's been a glitch really. It's happened to us in Miami, And it happened to us at another track where you get these severe collision penalties, and it's not really ideal. So Peanut, he caused a massive accident because he's collected a total of like 5 to 6 cars. CMS is in, Peanut's in, Ed Dog is in, Anime Boy's in, I think Emmanuel's in. There's a lot of drivers in at the moment, and obviously the 10 seconds is not really helping us because we probably would have been ahead of this queue, but the 10 seconds is 10 seconds, and you kind of just have to deal with what the game does. So unfortunately, not what I wanted, but fortunately the game had other plans, so it's quite unfortunate. But we go back out on lap 2, and at the moment it's going to have to be a pretty big gap to catch, but we have some cars in front of us, so hopefully we can catch up to Anime Boy and Peanut and Big Ed Dog. So we're going to not really use too much battery, we're just going to try to use our pace, because a lot of these guys I am fairly quicker than. I feel like Anime Boy, I'm feel pretty confident I can get past him. And Peanut and Ed Dog, obviously. Ed Dog is a Tier 2 driver. He's just doing a reserve for Tier 1. And Peanut is a Tier 2, but he's slowly moving up into Tier 1. So he's not far off my pace, so he's actually been doing a really good job. So Peanut not far off, and Emmanuel and CMS, obviously they are Tier 1. Anime Boy also Tier 1 as well. So we get around Anime Boy, and simple overtake. Next up is, or not Anime Boy, sorry, I thought we got around Anime Boy, I misunderstood. But Metal God, fast lap of the race, so Metal God 134 flat. So Metal's been putting in the work. And last 2 races, I mean, he's really been coming up the grid a lot. I think he was a Tier 2 driver. He's now moved up into Tier 1, so we're going to try to get around Anime Boy here. We go down the inside line, and that is a simple move down the Las Vegas Strip. And we keep on going now. So, quick update on the setup as we get a track limits warning. Setup, it is 5 on the front, 0 on the rear. So, 5 front, 0 on the rear. So, thankfully, it's actually coming out really well, and a lot of people were saying, like, Reimer was telling me, because we were in a voice call, he was like, you're really going to struggle in the first sector with the rear wing being at basically 0, but overall I felt pretty fine. I mean, throughout the race I felt pretty confident, and the more laps I did I was feeling really good. Nerd Nick came into the pits. He is, I don't know why he came into the pits. I think he had maybe wing damage, but he comes in. Next up is Ed Dog and Emmanuel. Emmanuel is not really a guy that doesn't really want to work together. Ed Dog does have some wing damage, so it's going to be ideal to get around them pretty quickly. And you can see the amount of overspeed that we have over Big Ed Dog. And Emmanuel, who is in the clean air, he will be possibly lapping a little bit quicker than us at the moment. But you can see he's got no end plate on the left side of his wing, and I believe the right side is still intact. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to get around Big Ed Dog here. We're going to have the DRS, I believe. Yes, we do. We got the detection, so thankfully that helped us out quite a bit, and we will pull away from Big Ed Dog. Next up is Emmanuel, and then the gap to Peanut is 7 seconds ahead. So the gap to Peanut, I feel like we are going to need a safety car. We would need a safety car at this point. So next up is Emmanuel. And Emmanuel does not really want to work together. He's never really wanted to work together with anybody. He sort of just defends his position all the time. So obviously this is not really going to help us a lot, because they know he's going to do the most Emmanuel thing in the world. He's going to send one down the inside and try to get ahead of the apex. So expect a big send from Emmanuel here as we go down. And yes, like I said, I told you he was going to send it. And he did send it. And he actually had to back out. So but I know I told you. So thankfully we gapped that, and actually someone's made a mistake. I believe Big Ed Dog might have just hit the wall, or that was maybe Nerd Nick. So like I said, we're not really going to burn the battery at the moment. Emmanuel is burning his battery to stay up with us, so we're going to try to catch up to Peanut with no battery, and then probably in the round lap 10 to 12 range we're going to start using a little bit of some battery to close that gap down. Like I said, we need a safety car. I mean, we are going to need a safety car. I think that is clear today that Big Ed Dog has retired. And speaking of safety car, wish has been granted. We have a safety. And I believe Big Ed Dog retired on track, so that did kind of help us a little bit. So I think he maybe crashed somewhere. We're going to come into the pits. We're actually going to go on mediums. We're going to go on this strat, and I think this will actually help us. Now, the mediums, they will die off around the lap 20 range, but if we can stay within this gap, they'll be really clutch. You can see CMS also pitted for the mediums as well. So I guess at this point we have similar pace to CMS, so if we just stay within his DRS and we could just pull that away, that'd be awesome. But Peanut has other plans, and he actually broke his wing coming out the pit exit. So Peanut is having the most peanut race I think you can ever have at the moment. So poor guy has not really caught a break, but I guess that's what happens when you just make a mistake on lap 1. Safety car in this lap, and we'll be back underway here on lap 13 of this race. I believe Xylee is leading the race. He is on a 2-win streak, I think he's on a win streak at the moment. He's won the past, I don't even know how many races this guy's won. I think him and CMS I think he might have the most wins throughout the season. So, and he is obviously fighting for the Tier 1 championship, and the guy that is leading the championship is right in front of me, CMS, who won the championship last season. He's defending his crown quite a bit, and obviously the numbers are a little bit lower than usual. I think a lot of people just did one season and then they were just done with the game. Makes sense. It's kind of sort of a mini season, and the season was going to go a little bit longer, but due to F125 coming out in the span of basically 1 week from now, they decided let's get this done and over with now. So thankfully the last 2 races are at pretty strong tracks that I like, so thankfully it is kind of going our favor. You can see at the moment big gap, and we do have actually some quick guys around us here at the moment. So obviously Nerdneck's got the speed. He's actually burning his battery, and well, we're gonna let him go, and we'll let him use that battery a little bit. We're not really gonna use the battery. We're gonna kind of stay with CMS, and a lot of these guys, they're gonna be using some battery. We're not really gonna use it. I've been kind of trying to figure out that I don't really need to really burn the battery per se. I mean, I could burn it a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But obviously, if we fall back, we'll try to stay within Nerdneck and all their range. So you can see Xylee has pulled away from he's actually pulled away from basically everybody in this pack, and actually Nerf is actually causing a massive train. I don't think Nerf pitted, but you can see 5 cars. This looks like this could be an airplane crash at the moment because there's so much battling going on. You can see Emmanuel's trying to get the DRS off of Reimer. CMS going through Emmanuel. I'm going to go around the outside of Nerdneck here, and also we have a McLaren Tier 2 reserve going up into Tier 1, reserving for this race for, I believe, one of the other McLarens. It'd be Fairzy, I believe that was the other one. You can see Nerdneck try to go down the inside. We defended the outside line, and actually Emmanuel almost hit the back of CMS, and also Reimer did break a little bit early, I feel like, so Emmanuel kind of got caught out a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you can see we're going to try to sort of stay within the DRS, and DRS should be enabled. So if we can get the run on Emmanuel, that'd be awesome. So we're going to probably have to use a little bit of some battery here. And the reason why I want to get around this guy is because, number one, he doesn't want to work together. He's never really wanted to work together at all with anybody. And if he's watching this video, I hope you are. I do apologize that I just roasted you, but he doesn't want to work together. And there's quite a lot of people that don't really know league strats, per se, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if people just don't want to work together, that's fine. It's just kind of how it is. Here comes Nerdneck right down on the inside, and he was going for a move, and actually I think he got caught out maybe a little bit on the curb, and I hope I gave him enough space. I hope so. I'm not 100% sure, but I tried to give him enough space, and Nerf setting another fast lap. You can see purple sector 1, so that actually lost us a little bit of time, but we're going to catch back up slowly. And that middle sector through that little between the Las Vegas sphere, I actually feel really good around there, and actually a VSC has been deployed, so don't know what happened. I think Peanut maybe crashed somewhere, or he's had a moment. Someone's had a moment, and actually that actually lost time to Emmanuel. Emmanuel's got 13 seconds. I don't know what he did. He must have cut a chicane or two, because my God, what did you do, my boy? So yeah, now we're kind of in this pack within the leaders. So it's there's 7 drivers left, or not 7 drivers. There's 7 drivers within this pack. Reimer and CMS are trying to work together, sort of on offense, to kind of catch back up to this pack. Reimer's got really good pace, but CMS also believes he has a lot more pace. Obviously, CMS is on mediums compared to Reimer's on hard tires. So obviously, a lot of people are kind of doing their things. You can see that Xylee and Zox and Nerf are all kind of just using some DRS, and they're all just battling. And also the McLaren reserve driver is actually doing a really good job. And he's actually, I never heard of this guy, and he guess he's been in the league for quite a while. He just doesn't really race like that, but man, he is showing some really good promise here tonight, and he's really been quick all along. So he's definitely a name that I feel like we could watch coming up into Tier 1 in the future, obviously next season. Actually, we've had a crash in front. Zox and Nerf have actually had a collision, and actually they're still banging wheels, so I don't know what happened between those two, but I think maybe Zox was going for a move, or Nerf turned in, or what, but there's definitely going to be maybe some penalties coming their way, but Zox got 6 seconds worth of that, so I'm not sure what happened between those two, and probably not helpful for Nerf, who was really on spot for a podium, and he has been, well, he's been shafted, I guess you could say. So next up is sort of fighting within this top pack. So obviously Reimer and CMS and Xylee, he is fighting the tier 2 reserve. You can see the tier 2 reserve possibly. I don't know his name, but man, he is showing some promise, and he's putting up a good fight. So we'll see how long he can stay with Xylee at the moment. Zox is out of the session. I think he just must have crashed into the wall, maybe went straight on. But you can see Nerf still has a lot of pace. You can see a 133.1, and that was on a set of hards. So Nerf has so much pace, and he's been, like I said, he's been very quick. So I think he's gonna start catching back up to this train now. I don't know how old his tires are. I don't know when he pitted, but obviously he's a lot quicker than all of us, and you can see he probably will maybe close that gap down. But if we just keep on DRS sharing, we could pull away from Nerf. So you can see the gap is 2.6, 2.5, and CMS is slowly kind of catching up. Same with Reimer. They're catching back up to that train. Reimer now goes fast lap, and he is pushing a lot on those hards, and we haven't even been able to achieve the fastest lap yet. So a little bit bummed, because I was going to try to go for one to get a little cheeky point. You can see struggling a little bit of oversteer at the one of the more tricky corners. It's very tricky to sort of get on the traction, because you can easily lose the car. Obviously, like I said, with the low rear wing, it's not really helpful through there, but obviously we are cooking these mediums. The mediums are at this crossover, so mediums can roughly do around 11 to 12, 13 laps, so I think the last 2 laps are really going to be painful. We can see we've caught up to this train, so now the key is trying to stay with them, but obviously we're really struggling on the tires at the moment, and really just made a mistake through that sort of Mickey Mouse section, I'm going to call it, that little junction behind the spear. Caught us out quite a little bit, and you can see now the gap is about half a second, and still Xylee is still under some amounts pressure. No, he's not. He actually broke DRS, so Xylee actually pulled away from Pinju, I believe his name is. Actually, I think I just saw it was Pinju. So he's actually broken away from Pinju, and Reimer's going to be all on Pinju, same as CMS. So obviously we're going to want to make some moves here down the Las Vegas Strip. We go, you can see now we've actually pulled a decent gap away from Nerf, and we keep on going now, and Reimer is all over the back of Pinju. Also CMS goes on Pinju, so those two actually stayed really close between those, and we kind of fell back a little bit. We're not using much battery at the moment compared to what these guys are using. I mean, we are burning quite a little bit, but we're not burning as much as what CMS and Reimer are. Apparently Reimer and CMS are both around 40%. To me, where I'm at 58. But they also are harvesting a lot through the middle sector, aka the Mickey Mouse chicane, which we don't really need to harvest the battery, because we have so much sort of left in the tank. So I'm not really harvesting at the moment, and Xylee is not even using battery to stay ahead, because obviously all this fighting is helping them. But you can see we're going to burn a lot of battery down this straight, and the key is we want to get around Pinju, and I will, if I have to brake late, I will go for a little cheeky send on Pinju if we get close enough. But obviously CMS got DRS off Reimer, we got DRS off Pinju, and Pinju is going to have DRS in front of CMS, so we're going to try to get around Pinju here, as we will burn battery, and we will go into hot lap mode. We also will use some overtake. We got the speed, we got the run. I don't know what Pinju's wings are, and we're going to brake late. We brake very late, and we almost hit the back of CMS, just enough time to brake, and that was a pretty good move, and we went right back down the inside and just made it enough to kind of not hit the back of CMS's rear wing or diffuser. So what a pass that was. And actually all that battery we actually didn't even harvest, because we totally forgot to harvest through that Mickey Mouse chicane. Actually we lost 7/10, so the podium is very tough, but that's the fight for P2 and P3. So if we could stay within those two, we might have a shot for P2, as we still hit those corners per se. We hit the inside wall and almost just lost that car through that tricky corner, the Franco Colapinto corner, as I'm going to call it, because Franco had a massive crash hitting that inside wall. And yeah, we had a moment through there. We hit the little kiss with the inside wall, and that's happened to me quite a little bit with the kiss, and just lost it back in again. And yeah, now we're really starting to feel the burn on these tires, and it's not really helping us a little bit. And now the car just, there's just so much going on within the rears, and I think the tires may have overheated just a little bit with the sliding, so it's not really helping us. But on lap 24, we still keep going, and the last lap is near us. And actually, Reimer just got a 3-second time penalty, so he's actually cut the corners pretty aggressively, and he's actually serving a time penalty for that. So not really helpful for Reimer in his race, because he really, well, he did get a P2 last race, so I think maybe this is going to help him out quite a little bit in the standings, but obviously the 3 seconds is not really helpful for him, and if we can stay within this 3 seconds, that'll be awesome. So we're going to need some maximum push here, and the gap is 2.4 behind to Nerf, so Pinju's actually lost out quite a lot of time. But you can see we just cannot get the rotation coming out the exit from the sphere going down that main strip, so it's going to be tough here the last corner, because we've actually closed the gap to 2.9 to 2.8, so it's going to be tight now down this main straight, and we're going to burn the battery. We burn. Can we get him? Xylie's going to win the Grand Prix. Congratulations to Zylie. We come across the line. It's going to be a podium, and we secure a podium. So from P3, started P3, from last up to P3. Pretty good result. That's another podium for this season, and we don't really get podiums like that, so it's quite rare that we do get a podium, because I feel like I've called myself the P4 merchant or the P5 merchant, because that's for so where we always finish. But a P4, I'll take that. Thank you very much. And that actually kind of helped us a little bit, because I feel like that race did help, because obviously there was no Vaughn, no none of that, and that did help us quite a lot. But you can see that was a very fantastic podium. Zylie with another win. So the fight between the title is going to come down to the last race at Baku. So Baku is always going to bring some carnage. It's always going to bring the energy. So hopefully we can kind of get into that little bit of that action between those two for that fight. So it's going to be a very exciting race, though. But there's your results. Pinju coming on P5, Nerf P6, Peanut 7th, Nerdnick 8th, Emmanuel 9th, and Zox with a DNF finishing P10. So yeah, good result. I don't know where that's going to put us within the standings. We might jump ahead of Reimer, but I think it's still kind of a stretch at the moment, because I think Vaughn still has that P3 secured at the moment. He hasn't been able to show up to really all the races at the moment, but yeah, good result. Good race, honestly, entirely. I think that was probably one of the better races I've had this season, next to probably Brazil. So thankfully we got a good result, and thankfully that there's only one more race left of this season, and we can call it a quits. But thank you all for watching this video. Thank you everybody that's been supporting the channel. I appreciate you all. Thank you for all the subscribers. I love you all. But have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy Indianapolis qualifying today, and I will see y'all in the next one.